The Edge is brought to you by Browning, Bulldog, Titan, Cabela's, High Mountain Seasonings, Hornady, Polaris, Hoyt, 10 Point, Night Force, Bog Pod, Wasp. This week, The Edge heads to Manitoba, Canada. The landscape of the province ranges from boreal coniferous forests and muskeg to Canadian shield. Edge host Helgie Eymundson is heading to northern Manitoba for a moose hunt he's been looking forward to all year.
Okay, we made it to Winnipeg, nice and smooth. Quick flight over, everything looks good. We have got some time before we head over to Cabela's and pick up my tags. So we're gonna go do a little sightseeing and check out some attractions and a few historical sites. So let's go, and then we're gonna take off to northern Manitoba for big moose. I've never had the chance to hunt in Manitoba, so it's always exciting to go to a new area, and especially an area that's so well known for their large population and moose. One quick stop before we go. Winnipeg is Canada's capital of Slurpees. More Slurpees here than anywhere else in North America, so I gotta get one. Oh, I understand why it's the Slurpee capital of Canada. It's so hot. I've only been here for a few minutes and I'm already sweating. Bet you'd never guess what flavor I am. I'm grape.
In 1914, a special black bear was named Winnie the Pooh after the city of Winnipeg. Helgie's not looking for a bear on this hunt, although he may just run into one.
So we're gonna go into Cabela's and pick up my moose tag, but I'm definitely gonna get a fishing license because the walleye fishing in northern Manitoba is second to none.
Hi, how are you doing today?
Not too bad, Rosemary.
What can I do for you?
Going moose hunting, I need a moose license.
Alrighty, I can do that for you.
When you go to Manitoba, it's simple. I mean, there's a lot of opportunities to hunt moose, but it's definitely regulated properly so that they harvest the correct amount of animals and maintain the population. Once you have your outfitter allocation, go into your Cabela's store and pick up your license and away you go. All right, I got my tags, I got my safety vest, we're ready to go. But before we take off moose hunting, there's something really cool over here I gotta go and check out.
Helgie can't resist a little arts and crafts, especially when they're moose related.
You have one?
Yeah.
Where's the moose? I want a moose. So what do you guys think? Should we cut out some antlers, like bullwinkle, or should I color this?
Color that.
What do you think I should do? Color or make some antlers?
Color.
This is what we're trying for.
You're probably gonna want more than just two.
These antlers are so heavy. I like this. What do you think? Your antlers are upside down, baby. Well, what do you think? I'm ready to go moose hunting now?
Yeah.
All right, let's go moose hunting. If you've never been to Manitoba, you're gonna land in Winnipeg and then take off to the north to go moose hunting. You're gonna look around and you're gonna see the breadbasket of Canada. There's more grain country than you can imagine, and the most fertile soil that there is anywhere in Canada. And you're thinking, where am I gonna find a moose? Well, an hour's short drive north, hop on a float plane, and you will be amazed at the difference in the terrain. You go from this amazing lush farmland to just Canadian shield, lakes, rocks, rivers, and you're just like, wow. Wow, this is the bush. Hey, man.
How's it going?
Not too bad. I'm Helgie with The Edge. I'm tired, hungry, and thirsty.
I can help you with all those things.
Where do I tie my horses up? Just at the pole out front there?
The deck is fine. Yeah.
Okay, cool. For all you ladies out there, I'm in room number 1.
You're in room
Number 1, drifters in. Thanks, Matt.
Not a problem.
Everybody got a seatbelt on?
Yes.
Coming up next,
We got like rocks just popping out that are like, 1,000 feet long. We're totally in the Canadian Shield.
We kind of slept in and, things are working out in my favor. I get a little more rest and some more coffee because the weather's so bad we can't take off.
How's it going?
Afternoon, Helgie.
Afternoon?
You'll have to get up earlier than this if we're going to get a moose this week.
Well, kind of living on Alberta time here.
We're just kind of on hold right now to see what this weather's doing.
Oh, that's all right.
Come through, and it's good for hunting because it was too hot the last few days. So
Yeah, no doubt.
this week, with the weather change and leaves have fallen, we'll see a little better. Should be a good week.
Yeah.
Usually after something like this happens and the weather breaks, then they actually get a nice afternoon. Lots of times they'll come down to the water, and you may get them in the middle of the day. Or
We're up. It is quite late. We've got terrible ceiling here. We're not doing too much. We're just hanging out, waiting for the clouds to lift a little. Chris is here from Jackson Lodges. He's flown 9 moose out already this week. Chris is just looking for the rubber band right now. We can't take off until we find the rubber band.
rubber band or rubber legs. Let's see how Helgie does on this one.
The float plane looks like a flying bus. They're just cramming all kinds of stuff into the back end, and you can see the thing tipping down like that. And then there's all kinds of people crawling in there, and finally I'm the last guy in, and he's wedging the door behind me, and I'm in this little seat, and you're like, the wall's right here, and there's people all over the place. I'm like, okay, is this thing gonna take off?
Everybody got a seatbelt on? Yeah. Be about 45 minutes or an hour.
Second start to the left, straight on till morning. I'm flying this thing when we come back.
You're not alive on here, you're not.
Let's go. You're flying along. We got lakes, we've got bogs, and little estuaries here and there. But I can't believe that we got like rocks just popping out that are like 1,000 feet long. We're totally in the Canadian Shield.
Helgie has arrived at the spectacular remote setting of Amphibian Lake Lodge, of Jackson's Lodge and Outposts.
All right. Yeah, we're here. That was smooth. Well, did you guys save one for me?
Hi, Helgie.
Well, we've just disembarked, and that was a very smooth flight. My first trip on a float plane, and it was pretty smooth, so I liked it. The water was a little choppy when we landed, and you just eased her in, and it was all good. I'll have you know that there's one bag here that's mine. I don't know what all this is. We got some hunters going home right now. They were in. The moose were already calling. They got one moose and some bear, and they did a lot of fishing. So yeah, they said the weather was great. Moose were talking, and we're ready to go. Brought my girlfriend with me.
Yeah. Boy, by the end of the week, she's gonna really look
Good. Well, that's it. There goes our milkman, our mail delivery guy, our ambulance, our truck driver, our everything. We're now in camp. That's it. Bye, float plane. Okay, let's get to work.
Helgie has barely had time to load into camp when his guide Paul tells him the weather is perfect for a little evening hunting. They decide to head out and see if they can't find some moose.
So our plan for this hunt is to traverse the rivers with our boat and find a cove or an area that's out of the wind with a rock back wall behind us so we can control where the animal is going to come from. We can't walk through the forest and get up on them. It's nearly impossible. It's practically impenetrable. So we need to set up in an area where we can lure them out into the open near the water so we can get a shot at them. You have to realize that this is big country and that you have to utilize as much of the tools you have in your arsenal to try and make a success of the hunt. We use a decoy, we use an old birch bark call, and we use scents, and we use a paddle for raking, and at some point, if the moose does come in, you're gonna have to put the paddle over your head and wave it around. You have to use a lot of loud calling because you got such a vast amount of territory that you want the call to disperse to. So yeah, you got to pull out all the stops. It's big country. Set up back over here. What's happening this way, doesn't matter.
You know what? What I usually like to do is I used to like to just start off bull calls facing this way, right? And then after we get into it, I'll do bull calls that way, dog calls. But you never know sometimes.
Okay, we are sitting, we're sitting for our first night, and come a few miles, I don't know, maybe probably 4 miles by the boat, something like that, into a nice little secluded bay, and we got some nice spots here with willows and aspen, and kind of a bit of a funnel here, so can do some calling and see what happens.
It's a waiting game, so we usually call every 20 minutes and then wait and listen. Having no wind is the best. Quiet and calm, so we'll sit here and wait a little bit more, and another 15, 20, and we'll try her again, see if we can hear anything.
Gotta stay low out of the wind. This is completely different. I should be out walking around calling and doing everything myself, but Paul says sit tight and he's gonna do the calling, so I'll sit tight.
Did he say sit tight or sleep tight? The waiting game begins.
The Edge, brought to you by Buck Expert.
Helgie, time to get up. Boats are ready, boy. Let's get going.
Boy, you called me, boy. I got a hair on my chest and we even have a whole rug.
Thanks, man. Don't like it when I call you, hey, boy?
We seem to be sucking, so let's try something different. I don't know what it is, but it's something.
What's the plan now? Cruise the river for a bit. The wind is crazy. It's been all week, crazy wind, so we'll see if there's something will pop out along the river. And then tonight we'll hope that the wind dies down. That's all we can do for now. Beavers seen one this morning, small bull, so they are moving around. Brett is either at the beginning or just starting. I'm not sure yet, but.
Well, I saw Beaver there the other day. He was drinking porcupine pee.
Was he?
Does that help?
I guess so. Some sort of pee, I guess, might help.
Second morning, third day, so we're gonna go and see what we can get done here. My guide has started calling. That's the sign.
Jackson Lodge and Outposts is known for some of the highest producing lakes in northern Manitoba. Along with hunting moose and bear, guests come from all over the world to fish these waters.
Trying to change our luck. He's gonna call moose, we'll fish. I think there's just too many weeds here. We can't go out in the open though. Anywhere out in the open, the wind's blowing so much you can't call for the moose. I don't think this is gonna work.
All right, my first Manitoba fish.
Let's see if anyone else has caught more than just fish.
We've arrived back in camp from a morning hunt, and in pulls Alex, and you can tell by the grin on his face what's happened. They're out fishing because they couldn't find any moose in the one area. They move into kind of a secluded area out of the wind, and out comes a bull while they're fishing.
This is pretty exciting. I'll tell you, that moose came out, and he stopped it, he called it. It was incredible. I've never harvested a moose before. It's not about killing things. It's just the whole experience of coming here, meeting all the guys here, and then to go out and hunt and actually harvest what this place is famous for. And it's going to be so cool to take a moose home to my family. It's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome.
Oh, you got that river!
Holy!
Here's what we're cooking up. Fresh walleyes.
Jackson Lodges is known for their fishing. It's amazing. The time we were there, we could eat walleye morning, noon, and night. It's just incredible.
I love fresh fish. This is good, Steve. It's perfect. It's falling apart. Like, look at the thickness of those fillets. I could eat fish every meal, especially this. This is so good. Oh my gosh. I'm definitely not going to lose weight here.
The wind seems to have died down, so Helgie and Paul decide to try their luck with another late afternoon hunt.
Sounded like something hit a tree over there.
So you called from over there, and then you called from over here. Halfway in between that, did you let out a big bull grunt? Okay, it came from, I had my head down like that, and I couldn't tell if it came from directly behind me or directly in front of me, but it was just a like that. It didn't sound anything like you, and it came from straight across. I think he's just in them tall poplars. He came in quiet, never said a thing, and then either the wind swirled or something, and he gave us a challenge call.
The new Buck Commander Nano cameras by Wild Game Innovations. Take command of your season.
We ran out of light, and there's two different kinds of running out of light. There's running out of camera light, which is probably 15 minutes before legal light, and legal light is a half hour after sunset in Manitoba. So you watch your watch, and once it gets to legal, you gotta shut it down, and you know full well that bull is right there, and now you gotta try and get out of there without him knowing that you're a human and not a moose, and try and get back tomorrow.
We came in, gonna set up in the same place we were at last night. We had a pretty good answer late. There was only a couple minutes of light left, and bull answered from across the lake here, and sounded pretty good, deep guttural grunt. So we're back in the same spot. The wind just sucks. I mean, it's hard to hear anything, but we'll hope for a couple gaps in the wind and sit here for a few hours and see what we can make happen.
What's happening? The weather is crap. I'm so happy that I ate an extra 10 pounds of walleye because it's so windy. I felt like I was going to blow away a couple times. It's so windy that all I can hear is the leaves and the branches. A moose could be standing on top of me. I wouldn't even know.
I generally try not to get too frustrated while I'm hunting because I can't affect Mother Nature, so I just have to deal with that. But the terrain that we're in is not very conducive to the type of hunting that I normally do, which is walking and calling and moving in on the animals. There's just too many
undulations in the river and stuff, and everywhere you go, the wind will swirl on you and whatnot, so you gotta kind of call them out to the water, so that's different than what I'm used to. That frustrates me. Yeah, I mean, I'm tired, I'm frustrated. It has been a long week so far, so you get down on yourself a little bit. Well, we're just gonna kind of cruise back to camp, and maybe we can spot a moose in a cove out of the wind somewhere. Gonna grab a quick bite to eat, fuel the boats up, and we're gonna cruise the river and see if we can find some different spots. The wind just isn't conducive to sitting in this spot anymore. So, go make some miles. Three hunters in camp. Yeah. And so far 2 moose down. Yeah, Alex got his first moose, about a 36-incher, and Dale from Minnesota, Missouri, he got his bull this morning, and the other guys are off. They're out to go and get it and bring it back to camp right now, and that's supposed to be like a 50-some incher, so that's going to be cool. A big bull. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Alex has taken a bull, and now Dale gets one. And a tribute to the area and a tribute to Jackson Lodges. Dale's been hunting moose with them for, I think, 7 years, and he's connected on a couple already, but this is the biggest one of all. You could see the grin from a mile away as he's coming in on the boat. He took a 50-inch bull. Yeah, everyone in camp is seeing moose, and Paul and I have been hunting just as hard, if not harder than all of them. Well, actually harder, because they all go fishing during the day, and we're still out hunting quite often. But we just haven't seen anything, and you know what? That's just luck. That's just the way it goes sometimes.
Optimistic that his luck will improve on his last day, Helgie gives it one last shot.
This doesn't look all that promising. There's a little bit of blue sky, but there's miles of clouds coming.
Windy.
Yeah.
Too windy yet.
The success is the overall experience, and challenging myself, overcoming obstacles, and doing what I can to get the job done. And we did all of that. We worked hard, and we moved around, and we tried to put everything we could into our favor, and we just came up a little short and a little unlucky. This hunt has been a great experience for me. I can't thank Jackson Lodges enough. Even though I didn't get anything, it was wonderful, and I hope I can come back. I really want to come back. I've got a vendetta.
Show me your face. No.
Quiet on set.
Look at that. Yeah.
Those are hot.
Those are all mine. I hope you made some more for everybody else. We need to supplement Paul's income because, you know, he's not doing so well right now.
Closed captioning brought to you by Caldwell.